everyone, welcome back to Pitch Exotics. It's me again, Josh, and today we are talking about something very important. And it's something that every single one of us should know. And these are common illnesses that affect your pet reptiles. So whether you're new to the hobby or a seasoned keeper, understanding these health issues can help you spot problems early on and keep your pets healthy. So today, we will be covering from Cryptosporidium to other common diseases in reptiles. But before we begin, I'd like to share 3 disclaimers. Number 1, I'm not a vet or a professional. Number 2, as usual with topics like this, I will be citing my sources in the description box below. Number 3, this video only covers yung illnesses. As for the products and yung mga first aid kits na kakailanganin mo that are also vet recommended, I am reserving those for another video. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. Plus, if I'm lucky pala, I might be able to get some insights from a licensed exotic veterinarian here in the Philippines. Let's see. Okay, before we start, why does reptile health matter? So if you're not aware, reptiles often hide their symptoms because they are biologically hardwired. Ibig sabihin, natural sa kanila na magtago ng sakit or to conceal their illnesses, and that is their survival instinct. Kasi nga naman, in the wild, if they show any signs of weaknesses or illnesses, that makes them a good target for predators. And because of this masking phenomenon, your pet reptile may appear perfectly fine, pero yun pala may tinatago na siyang sakit. Most usually, by the time na they will show signs, probably medyo malala na yun. Well, kasi nga, magaling silang magtago ng sakit nila. And this is also why wild-caught pets are discouraged. Wild-caught, ibig sabihin, kukunin lang sa wild yung exotic pet reptile, and then gagawin nilang pet in captivity. So, hindi natin alam kung anong mga sakit yung tinatago ng mga wild-caught pet reptile. So, ayun na nga, going back, early detection is key, and proper care can make a huge difference. So, first illness that we're going to tackle is Cryptosporidium. Just to get this out of the way, no? So, Cryptosporidium is actually a common parasite. It is a microscopic parasite that infects the digestive tract, especially in snakes and geckos. This disease is highly contagious and will often spread through water, contaminated water, food, and feces. And it is also frequently fatal. Although maraming species ng crypto, meron yung for snakes, lizards, and meron din for tortoises. Without going into further detail, ito yung mga usual na symptoms niya. Sa snakes, it primarily affects the stomach. So, unang-una na dyan is chronic regurgitation. So, lagi nilang dinuduwal or sinusuka yung kinakain nila. And that is actually a hallmark sign. Next would be mid-body swelling. This is caused by inflammation or pamamaga and thickening ng kanilang gastric tissue. Next would be rapid weight loss. And also lethargy, or yung visible na panghihina sa kanila and parang wala silang kahit na anong energy. Sa lizards naman, meron tayong tinatawag na stick-tail disease, where their tails become extremely thin because dun na kumukuha ng fat reserve yung animal, gawa nga ng malnutrition. Others are chronic diarrhea, anorexia, or refusal to eat, kawalang gana sa pagkain, and also abdominal swelling. So, yun yung mga sintomas ng Cryptosporidium and ways na pwede silang makahawa. Pero, paano nga ba ito na-diagnose? Ang diagnosis ng Cryptosporidium ay dumadaan lang through fecal tests or fecalysis done by a licensed exotic vet. One keeper that I can cite that has done this is a WFP or Wildlife Farm Permit holder, and that is Tier 1 Exotics. Recently, Kuya Bang shared with us that he had his collection tested and all came back negative naman. So, happy results. So, sa treatment naman, while there is no guaranteed cure, we can focus on these 3 things. Number 1 is management. That would be supportive care guided by your exotic veterinarian. Number 2 is sanitation. It's important to note na crypto is extremely resistant to chlorine. So, ibig sabihin, bleach hindi tatalab. I would suggest F10, but usually yung mga nabibili natin na ready to use na F10 online is for clinical use. If you are dealing with this kind of illness, it is advisable na magtimpla ka na lang ng sarili mo because you would need a higher concentration. And last but not the least is quarantine. If you're unfamiliar with the term or hindi mo pa ito pinapractice, ibig lang sabihin nito pagka may bago kang reptile na dumating, you have to quarantine them from nasa sayo na 60 to 90 days. Some keepers would even go as long as a year or more. So, depende na sa'yo. But yeah, it's important na i-quarantine yung mga new pets natin, lalo na if may reptile collection na tayo. If iisa pa lang naman yung pet mo, then you shouldn't be concerned as much. Pero yeah, quarantine. Importante yun. Ibig sabihin, hanggat maaari, hiwalay na area dun sa current collection mo and sa bagong dating na alaga mo. Hiwalay na tools hanggat maaari, ibang tools. And of course, yung biosecurity mo. So now that we're done with crypto, let's go to the other common reptile illnesses. Number 1, respiratory infections. Or, in short, RI. RI is caused by bacteria, viruses, or fungi, often due to improper humidity or other environmental factors. Personally, I have dealt with this on 2 separate occasions. Most recently, si Pancake, which I've made a video on that, and thank God, magaling na siya. And si Malos. Nung bagong dating niya sa akin, sakto, I was scheduling an appointment with Doc Sean, and buti na lang, during her general check-up, maagang na-catch ni Doc na may acute RI siya. So, ayun. Kaya importante din na meron kang general checkup at least once or twice a year. So, ano yung mga symptoms ng RI? Unang-una na dyan is yung wheezing. Para silang hinihika, inuubo, hinahalak. This would apply to snakes, lizards, hindi ko lang sure sa tortoise. And then, minsan meron silang mga bubbles na nagfo-form sa nose. Other than that, open mouth breathing and also lethargy. Sa treatment naman, well, madali lang naman siyang gamutin as long as maaga din siyang nakita and maaga din masosolusyonan. So, usually, vet prescribe antibiotics. And then, after that, you would have to correct yung enclosure conditions or yung husbandry mo. You have to identify what was it in the first place that caused your pet to have an RI. Okay, next, mouth rot or stomatitis. Sa madaling salita, ito ay infection of the mouth, often from injury or poor hygiene. Symptoms niya ay swelling, pus, ano yung pus sa Tagalog? Nana? Pus or nana, and also difficulty eating kasi nga namamaga yung bibig nila. Again, with the treatment, lalo na if malala, vet prescribe antibiotics, and of course, cleaning. Next are mites and external parasites. So, parang sa aso lang, meron din silang garapata, pero specifically for reptiles. Magkaiba yung itsura ng garapata ng aso at pusa versus sa may kita mo sa reptile. So, same with them, these are tiny insects that infest their skin and scales. So, usually, tumatambay yan sa pagitan or sa ilalim ng scales nila. This is something na, again, hindi maiwasan, hindi naman dapat ikahiya, and madali lang din naman gamutin. Me, personally, I've dealt with this once, and that was when I just got Malos, my blue-eyed leucistic python. And at the time, alam mo yun, bago ako, I didn't wanna deal with it. So, tumawag na lang ako kay Doc. And si Doc, when he came over, nag-prescribe siya ng gamot kay Malos and poof, nawala na yung mga mites niya. So, ano yung mga sintomas nito? I've actually made a separate series or video on this one nasa TikTok ko. But in case you need a new one or mas comprehensive, just let me know. Gagawa natin ng video yan. So again, symptoms. Excessive soaking. Yung pag nakikita mo, madalas sila nakatambay sa water bowl nila kahit hindi naman ganun kainit. And of course, since this is external parasites, makikita mo rin syempre visible yung mites. And may kita mo rin minsan nangangati sila or kinakamot nila. Yun kung may limbs yung alaga mo. Okay, treatment. Like with what I've said, madali siyang gamutin pero matrabaho lalo na kung nakadepende sa dami ng koleksyon mo. Treatment are veterinary approved sprays and also deep cleaning of enclosure. For prevention naman, you can also spray yung anti-mite spray na ire-recommend ng vet mo every time naglilinis ka or every time may new pet ka during their quarantine period. Again, remind ko lang, I will not be mentioning any products yet. In this video, yung mga specific products naka-reserve for another video, so abangan yan. Okay, next, MBD or metabolic bone disease. Karaniwan natin naririnig yan sa mga bearded dragons or mga tortoises. Kasi MBD is caused by a lack of calcium, vitamin D3, or UVB exposure. Ang mga sintomas niyan, visual din. Ibig sabihin, they will have weak or deformed bones, so mahirapan silang kumilos o gumalaw. May tremor sila or panginginig, kasi nga hindi na de-develop ng maayos yung limbs or yung katawan nila. Treatment. If caught early, your vet will probably advise you to change something in their diet. So, diet correction, proper lighting, lalo na UVB, and of course, makinig ka lagi sa vet mo. So, vet guidance. If towards the latter stages naman, I believe hindi na siya reversible. So, as much as possible, let's be sure na napoprovide natin yung proper needs and husbandry ng alaga natin. So, proper research is key. Next, we have inclusion body disease in boas and pythons. So, this is a contagious viral disease affecting the nervous system. It's progressive and fatal, na viral infection that affects boas and pythons. So what are its symptoms? Number 1, disorientation, stargazing, and loss of motor control. Some of you might already be familiar with the term stargazing. Pero let me just clarify na itong IBD is different from the wobble or stargazing effect na commonly makikita sa ibang morph, kunyari sa ball pythons, yung spider morph nila. It's a genetic neurological issue, whereas ang IBD kasi is a viral infection. Sa treatment naman, similar with crypto, there is no reported cure as of the moment. So, balik tayo dun sa management, sanitation, and quarantine. You know what? Let's abbreviate the term to MSQ. Okay, so those are the common illnesses I compiled for this video. Next, when and where to seek veterinary help. Unang-una, if you notice a sudden weight loss sa alaga mo, lethargy or panghihina, pagsusuka, or mga frequent regurgitation, or any abnormal behavior, dagdag mo pa dyan yung mga open wounds or visible wounds, please seek a vet immediately. That is why, as I've shared before, it's important na you monitor your pet, especially their usual behavior and their weight or pagtitimbang. That is also why I shared in one of my previous videos na kung balak mong pumasok sa exotic at mag-aalaga ka, you should have at least 3 vets on your disposal or on your contact list. Number 1 is your main vet. Ito yung main contact mo, main vet mo, go-to vet mo. By the way, hindi lahat ng veterinary clinics dito sa Pinas and even in other countries ay nagkikater sa exotics. Majority cater to the usual cats and dogs. Kaya, bago ka mag-alaga, alamin mo kung ano yung mga exotic vet clinics or exotic vets na meron malapit sa'yo. So, ayun nga, balik tayo. Number 1 is your main vet. Number 2 is a exotic vet na open 24/7. And number 3, backup vet lang. Backup vet ni main vet mo just in case hindi siya available. Sa akin naman, sa case ko, nung nakatira pa kami sa QC, marami akong options doon. But still, my main vet was Dokshan. Ngayon naman na lumipat na kami dito sa Baliwag, Bulacan. Wala talaga akong mahanap na exotic vet clinics nearby. I have tried asking around, pati yung vet ng mga alaga ko, wala din talaga masyado. So, si Dokshan lang currently ang vet namin and wala akong backup. By the way, if you are needing for an exotic vet and mas convenient sa'yo yung home service, or exotic vet Dokshan does home service. You can just search him on Facebook. Okay, next, prevention tips from exotic vet. I will only be including this section kung hindi ako nakakuha ng insights galing sa exotic vet namin. So, ito yung mga usual, ano? Unang-una dyan is quarantine new animals for at least 30 days. Me, I do 60 to 90 days. Number 2, clean enclosures regularly. Kung hindi ka naka-bioactive, palit ka rin regularly ng substrate. And of course, practice strict hygiene. Number 3, provide proper diet, lighting, heating, temperature, etc. for each species. So, aralin mong mabuti yung husbandry nila para maiwasan yung pagkakasakit and in turn, maiwasan yung vet bills. Diba? So, ikaw, meron ka na bang mga alagang nagkasakit before? Kamusta sila? How did you deal with it? You can share your own experiences or more questions about reptile illnesses in the comments below. If you suspect that your pet is ill, consult a vet immediately. Thanks for watching and I hope you and your reptiles are all safe. If you found this video information helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And as always, stay tuned for more exotic related content. Bye-bye! Thanks for watching and I hope you and your